Hey, it's Olivia, aka Biblioghoul, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books I want to read in March, which is a lot, but a lot of them are very short. So first let's start out with the books that I'm in the middle of right now, which is a few. So All We Can Save I started reading last month, but it's huge, so I'm like halfway-ish through, and I want to keep reading that. And then Skye Papers was on my TBR for last month, but the library was had ordered it and was processing it, so I was like waiting and hoping it would get to me last month, but instead I'll read it this month. And then the last one, which kind of I just saw and knew I had to read, but it was kind of like in the middle of February and March, not on either list, was The Care We Dream Of, Liberatory and Transformative Approaches to LGBTQ plus Health by Zena Sharman. So yeah, I'll also be reading that. It has a bunch of different essays from all these wonderful people, and I can't wait to hear what they have to say. Next book I'm interested in is Unsettled Ground by Claire Fuller. This was shortlisted for the Women's Prize, I believe, which is how I originally heard about it. I guess these siblings have lived forever with their mother in this like cottage, tending the land and not really interacting with society too much, and then the mother dies, and it's about them trying to live from that point. I don't know, it just seems really interesting. The next book is Notes on a Crocodile, which I have seen so many people talk about, and everyone seems to really enjoy it. So this is set in Taipei, and it's translated, and it's about a bunch of artistic queer teens finding community. I think it calls them misfits in the description, and I love the cover of this book, so can't wait to get into that. So next is When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. Again, another one I heard nothing but good things about, to the point where I almost changed my Blackathon TBR like just as I was about to film it because I wanted to read this book. The main character, Mira, returns to her segregated town for a wedding at a plantation, which already questionable, but yeah, I guess it's about the trauma and ghosts of slavery and the fuckery of having a wedding at a plantation, so excited for that. Also, another horror book, Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valente. I have seen people read a bunch of Catherine's other books as well, and I want to read all of them, and I think I will really enjoy them, but I'm going to start off with this one because, again, a great cover that caught my eye. It's only like 100 something pages, and this book is about a woman that was made for her husband, and everything is going swimmingly, and then she starts to have darker thoughts and question things. So definitely kind of like a Eve and Garden of Eden vibe. Another book I own in person, Transgender History by Susan Stryker. I've been wanting to read this for a while, just an amalgamation of trans history, and this month is the month. The last book I have in person is this cute little guy, Cult Filmmakers, 50 Movie Mavericks You Need to Know. It was like really cheap at the thrift store, and I love watching cult movies, so I thought I'd check it out. Let me know what your favorite cult movie is in the comments below. I'm not sure I know what my favorite is. That's a really big category, but I'd love to hear yours. The next book I heard Wilma from EnbyReads rave about, and it sounds really interesting. It's called Papisho. So I'm trying to remember the specifics of this book. I believe it was set on an island and there's magic and gods, but I know there was also, deeper structural issues that it touched on. But I can't really remember, but I just know that Wilma's review alone made me want to read it. So the next book is Border and Rule: Global Migration, Capitalism, and the Rise of Racist Nationalism. I think I was listening to something at Haymarket, and Ruth Wilson Gilmore was talking about Harsha Walia's work, who is the author of this book, and how it helps us understand abolition in this particular context she was talking about, and prisons and their connection to global issues. So if Ruth Wilson Gilmore says you're great, I'm gonna be interested as it is. But yeah, this book is about migration, refugees, borders, and I can't wait to learn more about things in a global sense. Learning about struggles worldwide is what I need to know more about. The next book is The Soil Will Save Us by Kristen Olson. So yeah, I forgot to say the subheading of the book, which is How Scientists, Farmers, and Foodies Are Healing the Soil to Save the Planet. So this is all about soil and carbon, which I know nothing about, but I'm excited to learn about. And I've been trying to read an environmental book every month, at least one, to just keep learning and keep digging in. In the description it says we have lost 80% of carbon from the world's soils, and the book is looking at different people like scientists, farmers, ranchers who have been working to fix this. So sounds great. So lately I have been feeling like reading about witches, and I really love reading horror books about ancient powers, just anything about the devil, demons, witches, just strong, powerful, evil beings, is right up my alley. So I've been interested in reading Hex by Thomas Oldhovolt. I don't know if I'm saying that right. As soon as I heard the description, which is this witch whose eyes and mouth are sewn shut or something, is just floating through the middle of town and terrorizing this town, and it just sounds amazing. And I think the author has another book that came out last month, which is about hikers, again, discovering this ancient evil power in a mountain or something, which also intrigues me. But I wanted to start off with this one. I guess it's a classic. I think I've heard Jordaline and some other people talk about it as something they read way back when, but I'm just getting to lots of horror this month, but I haven't read it for a bit, so I'm excited to dive in again. On that note, my best friend Avery has recommended Cersei to me by Madeline Miller, and keeps being when are you gonna read Cersei and Song of Achilles, Olivia? And I do really want to read all of them, but like I said, I'm in a witchy mood, and my bestie said that I would really like it, so this one's for you, Avery, if you're watching. Hi. And yeah, I was also thinking about just vibes and moods and things that I love, and I really love surrealism, so I was wondering if there are any books that had that kind of vibe. And when I looked that up, I found this book by actually a surrealist artist called Hearing Trumpet, and The plot is that an old woman is committed to an asylum, and then it just gets super wonky and supernatural from there. There's things about the underworld and just weird creatures, and it's been compared to Alice in Wonderland, so it sounds bizarre, and I can't wait to see what I make of it. I also want to read Hamnet. I wasn't super convinced when I saw this book like originally come out, because I like certain Shakespeare plays, but I guess it just didn't grab me in terms of like other books that I saw. But this seems like a really well-written like historical fiction that has really lovely family dynamics. I know it talks a lot about grief. So it's one of those books that, like, you know, even though like the subject wouldn't be first on your list, like the way it's written and other aspects of it will be really appealing to you. I don't know, do you ever find that as well? The last book on my list is Solaris, which apparently there was a movie made about this. I'm excited to read a book by a Polish author, because I don't really know if I've read anything else by Polish authors. It's been incidental, and I'd like to read more from my ethnicities. So this person goes to study the ocean, and this book is somehow about memory, which is always a really interesting topic to me, and I love the ocean. So it's sci-fi, but on the level that I like. So we'll see how that is. I'm also going to be reading the climate fiction book club pick for this month, which I believe is Gun Island. So I don't know what that's about yet, but I'm sure it will be great. So do you have any books that you're really excited to read? Are you in a certain reading mood this month? I would say mine's shifted from historical fiction to a bit of horror and a bunch of wonky sci-fi, etc. So yeah, I'm excited to read all of these books, and thanks for watching.